Welcome back to another video. I haven't known what I should be posting on this channel, so I feel like it takes me longer to come out with videos because I don't know what the vibe is right now, and I'm just trying to like find my way and find what I want to be filming. Today I am actually going to be filming my physical TBR list of books. So these are all books that I have on my bookshelf already, and they are ones that I have not read or I have not finished a series, and I'm gonna share with you those books. If you guys have read any of the books that I am gonna show you, let me know, and then maybe it'll jump it up to the top of my list. Okay, so some of these have been on my list for a long time, and it starts to feel like I'm never going to read them, and I kind of want to just read all the books that I have. It's very hard though, because every time I go to Target or a bookstore, I end up finding books and then my list gets longer. So I really want to try to focus on these books for the remainder of the year, potentially going on into the new year, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to read all of these before I buy more books. But honestly, that probably is not going to happen. The first books that I'm going to share are my Colleen Hoover books. I have read 3 Colleen Hoover books, and I genuinely like her books, but I don't know, I really have to be in the mood for them, and I think that's where I struggle sometimes with like reading different types of books, because I have to be in the mood for it or else my brain is going to be thinking about a different book. So we have the Colleen Hoover All Your Perfects book. I don't really know what this one is about. It says, can a love story with a perfect beginning survive a lifetime between 2 imperfect people? Okay. Sounds kind of interesting. These books were recommended to me by one of my neighbors. She, I think, had read like all of Colleen Hoover books, so she told me to get these ones. November 9th is another one. I feel like most of her books are kind of like love stories, so I can assume. And that's what these books are actually like good, like easy books to throw in when you don't know what to read. And then Verity. I remember hearing that this one was very different than her typical books, and my best friend Devin just recently read this and she liked it and she told me to read it. So I am gonna try. I would love if I could read all 3 of these by the end of this year. That would be great. This book, Circe by Madeline Miller, I have had on my bookshelf for at least like over 2 years. I don't know, this was like really popular on TikTok for a while. And I don't know, there's something about it that I just don't want to pick it up. Like, I don't know if it's the cover or what it is, which is really bad, but there's something about it that I'm just like, I just have no pull towards this book. I got it because it was popular, but I have not read it. I honestly don't know if I ever will. Let me know if you guys have read this and if it is worth it. The next book, The Inadequate Heir. The Inadequate Heir is actually a sequel to the Bridge Kingdom book. It is the 3rd Bridge Kingdom series. It is the 3rd book in the series. I read the first 2 and they were good. I wouldn't say that they were incredible. They weren't on like my top 5 or anything when it comes to series, but I kind of like, I want to read it. I have a hard time not finishing a series. Like, once I start something, even if I'm not in love with it, I feel the need to finish it. And Bridge Kingdom is not a bad series. It's just not, like, I don't know. It's not something that you will go back and reread because it was so good. So the 3rd book is actually a lot thicker than the first 2. But, so I don't know. I also read it like 2 years ago, so I feel like I need to get a little recap on what happened, because I kind of already forgot what happened in the first 2. The next book is A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden, and I don't know what this is about. This is like one of those, I think this is a fantasy love story. I'm pretty sure I saw it on TikTok and that's why I bought it, per usual. So it says Arwen Valondale. Don't know if I'm saying that right.
Never expected to be the brave one, offering her life to save her brothers. Now she's been taken prisoner by the most dangerous kingdom on the continent and made to use her rare magical abilities to heal the soldiers of the vicious Onyx King. Arwen knows better than to face the ancient wicked woods that surrounded the castle on her own, which means working with a fellow prisoner may be her only path to freedom. Unfortunately, he's as infuriating as he is cunning and seems to take a twisted pleasure in playing on her deepest fears. But here in Onyx Kingdom, trust is a luxury Arwen can't afford. To make it out of the enemy territory, she'll have to navigate backstabbing royals' dark magic and dangerous beasts. But untold power lies inside Arwen, dormant and waiting for a spark. If she can harness it, she just might be able to escape with her life and hopefully her heart.
Okay, this seems like an enemies to lovers style fantasy book. I truly want to read this. I think this is gonna potentially be my next fantasy book that I read. I don't even know if this is a series or if it's a standalone, but this sounds good. And I just finished a series of fantasy, so I might start this one, or maybe I need to finish Bridge Kingdom. I honestly don't know. Next book on my TBR is The First to Die at the End. This is the second book in the series by Adam Silvera. This is the prequel to They Both Die at the End. I read the first one. I really liked the first one, so I do want to read this one. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jerkins Reid. This is a super popular book. I need to take this sticker off. Very popular. I actually just bought this like last week because I feel like I've heard so much about this book and I am curious what the whole Seven Husbands book is about. So I also don't know if this is a series or if this is a standalone, but I mean, it seems like it would be good because everyone talks about it. Next book on my TBR, which I will probably read very, very soon, is Saint, which is technically just a novella from the Fable series. I just finished reading the second one and genuinely liked the second book better than the first. It was entertaining the entire way through, and now I could actually recommend that series to people because it was very good. And Saint is the main character, Fable. This is her father, and so this is a novella about him. So this happens, I'm pretty sure this book takes place before the Fable series, and I'm excited to read his story because he is one of the most interesting characters in the book and you get almost no information about him. So this will be very fun to read. And these books are actually a pretty easy read too. Like, I felt like I could have read the book in a couple days if I actually had the time to do it, because once I was reading, I just wanted to keep going, but I have to be responsible since I'm a parent. Little Women, okay? I need to read this book. I don't really want to because this thing is a brick. It is so big. And I know it's kind of like a kid story. I feel like this is geared towards a child book. At least that's what I think, because it's in the kids section. But it is so big. But I hear so much about this freaking story. And I've never seen the movie. I know it's about sisters. I don't know. It looks like 4 sisters. And that's all I know. I don't know much else. So, I don't know. But the girlies are obsessed with this book. And I want to be a part of that hype. And I would like to watch the movie because Emma Watson's in it. So, let me know. Is this worth getting into this brick? Like, is it necessary, or should I just watch the movie? Let me know. Happy Place. Okay, I just bought this from Target and I'm so excited. I am probably going to read this within the next couple weeks because this is like a summer vibes book. Emily Henry, by Emily Henry. I'm really bad at telling the authors. Okay. I have read 2 of her other books. Which ones are they called? Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation. I like her books. I think they're very fun, easy books. These are those kinds of books that you can just throw into your like monthly list of reading. They're like quick to read and they're generally fun books. This is like a very summer vibe. It looks like it's about a vacation place that they go to, which is kind of giving like the summer it turned pretty vibe. And it's beautiful. It's pink. I love pink. So this says,
Harriet and Wynne have been the perfect couple since they met in college. They go together like salt and pepper, honey and tea, lobster and rolls. Except now, for reasons they're still not discussing, they don't. They broke up 5 months ago and still haven't told their best friends, which is how they find themselves sharing a bedroom at the main cottage that has been their friends' group's yearly getaway for the last decade, where for one vibrant, blissful week they leave behind their daily lives, have copious amounts of cheese, wine, and seafood, and soak up the salty coastal air with the people who understand them the most. Only this year, Harriet and Wynne are lying through their teeth while trying not to notice how desperately they still want each other. Ooh, because the cottage is for sale, and this is the last week they'll all have together in this place. They can't stand to break their friends' hearts, so they'll play their parts. Harriet will be the driven, surgical resident who has never started a fight. Wynne will be the laid-back charmer who never lets the cracks show. It's a flawless plan, if you look at it from a great distance and through a pair of sunscreen-smeared sunglasses. After years of being in love, how hard can it be to fake it for 1 week in front of those that know you the best?
Okay, so kind of giving Summer I Turned Pretty a little bit with the vacation place and you know. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. It's a summer vibes book, so I need to read this ASAP because we're getting close to being done with summer. So I'm gonna rank these as to like what I'm probably gonna read once I'm done with this, so that we can come up with a plan together on what I'm reading this month. Homecoming by Kate Morton. I bought this like a month ago or a month and a half. It's like a historical mystery novel. So it seems like a journalist discovers something that's going on in a town and she's now here to try to solve the mystery. That's what I'm getting from this. This seems really fun. I'm kind of giving like fall to me. Maybe I'll read this in October or November because it just kind of seems like mystery novel. Sounds like a fall thing. This freaking book, okay? I feel like this one has been just staring at me for a year. Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. This book I saw on the bookshelf at the bookstore and it called to me. And I think it was the cover. It's very like, I don't know. It's kind of like whimsical, interesting. It kind of reminds me of the movie Up, like, I don't know, just the illustrations. And once I started reading this, it was not what I thought it was, because as you guys know, I don't usually read like what a book's about. I just get a book and then I'm just pleasantly surprised or let down by what it's about. And this one was so interesting. It's like about death and this guy, oh, P.S. I started reading it. So I got to page 94, chapter 8, and I put it down because it was like every time I had to pick it up, I felt like I didn't want to be reading it. And so I don't know if I'm for sure going to read this and finish it or not. I would like to because I have just heard that it's a very good book. It has good ratings, and when I was purchasing it, the person told me that this book is very popular. So I was like, oh my god, okay. Yeah, so it's like this guy who died. I'm trying to remember. He died and then he's going to like the other side, but there's like this house that he has to go and be in, and there's all these things happening. And there's a dog, I feel like. I'm trying to remember. Honestly, I would probably have to start over again because I don't remember what it's about. It was kind of weird. I wasn't really into it. Let me know if you've read this and if I should like muscle through it because it's about to be on my DNF list, potentially. Priority of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. We all have seen this book. It is the biggest book I think I own. It's let me check this. Oh my god, from being on my bookshelf and having books next to it, it literally has like a tan line. It's not even that long. This book is 804 pages. I think this book looks bigger than it is. 804 pages is less than Crescent City and also potentially Harry Potter books. So I think it's just really big. I think this book is more intimidating than it actually is. Although I do believe that this book is very high fantasy, which makes me nervous because sometimes it's just like gibberish in my brain when it's too intense. but I really, really want to read this book. I either need to like finish the year with this or start the year with it next year. I'm not sure. I know that the second one is out, so I don't know. People either adore this book or hate this book, I feel like, because I see such different reviews from people online. Like either they're all about it and it's one of the best fantasy books they've read, or they cannot get through it. So let me know if you have read this one. I'm genuinely curious about this one because I like that it's so big. It's kind of cool. And I don't know, is it like really hard to understand though? Like, is my brain going to struggle? Please let me know. Okay, the last book on my TBR list, which I will probably not be reading this year, is The Wise Man's Fear. I told you guys this in my bookshelf tour that someone at the bookstore recommended this to me. I recently looked it up because I don't know what it's about. It's by Patrick Rothfuss. I recently looked it up and it turns out this is actually a sequel to a series. So I need to get the first one before I can even read this one, I guess. I wish the person who told me to get this would have told me that because it's kind of silly. So I need to find the first one and then maybe I'll read this. I don't know. I honestly feel like this is gonna be one of those books that sits on my shelf for a long while, but we will see. So I think what I'm gonna do now is make up a kind of a list and you guys can tell me what you think about this. So I have all my Colleen Hoover books and I think I'm gonna throw these in when I'm like just finishing something and I want to read something that's like quick and easy. I'm gonna try to finish all 3 of these this year. My next book for sure within this month is going to be Happy Place because I want to read this during summertime so I can feel all the vibes. Next fantasy book is either going to be the 3rd book in the Bridge Kingdom series or Dawn of Onyx. Let me know which one you think, if you've read either of them, if you think I should just continue with this series so I can like put it to rest, or if I should start something new. I don't know if it's a series, but I know it's fantasy. I don't know. Should I try to read this year? I don't know if I'm like too ambitious. I don't read that much in a year. I cannot. I don't have enough time. So like I feel like 3 books a month is what I can typically do. So we might be able to get this done with just this list. So 7 Husbands, would like to do that within the next couple months. Saint, I'm probably gonna read this either right now and then read Happy Place, or I'm gonna read this in like 2 books from now. Homecoming, I'm thinking October. And then, oh, The Mammoth, I don't know. Because I don't really know if I'm gonna wanna read this in the fall and winter, or if I'm gonna wanna like do something else. So maybe I'll start the next year with this one. I don't know, guys, I'm not sure. Anyways, that is my physical TBR list. It's not insanely long, which is really good. But it is just a perfect amount of books that hopefully I can get done with this year. And I would be very happy going into a new year with like an open list of books that I could potentially be reading. So let me know, please, if you have read any of these and which ones I should prioritize and which ones aren't really worth it. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!